How are the stage standings? Calamitous. Is this guy playing this guy? It's these guys smashing all of these guys, and it's this guy getting roasted online for having an opinion. All of this and more on our 4th episode of Lock In, your weekly Siege X recap show, going through everything Siege X esports and beyond. Let's get into it. So it's been a few weeks where Denari, our brand new operator, has been in play, and we wanted to learn something from the man himself, from Stompn over at G2 Esports. They've come up and cooked up a strategy where you don't even need your teammates, so let's take a look at it all together. So Stompn on Denari, laying down his last trips and just being all set up. Now I want to put your attention on exactly what's going on in this very moment. Look at how all the traps are connecting to one another. So all the trips are in perfect position to deny 2 different drone holes, 1 entry doorway, a hallway on the other end, and of course the backstairs leading up to the top floor of Consulate. That's so many positions that are being cut off by creatively using the trips in great positions and also opening up lines of sight with his secondary shotgun. And the best thing about all of it is he is doing all of that solo. No need for your teammates. You could always do this on your own, and suddenly you blocked off half of the map just by using your own brain and your own skills, predicting how those movements will be. And here's what the man himself, the one and only Stompn, had to tell me about Denari.
I think Denari is one of the best trap operators in the game because you can deny a lot of different entry points. And also you can place them in spots that are kind of unbreakable because the radius is so long.
But you can apply the same way of thinking to any other map in your ranked games. So maybe this is something to learn from the man himself, Stompn on G2. And ladies and gentlemen, much like Wildcard in North America League, we'll be reaching our zen as we dig deeper into NAL standings and what's been going on with our friends across the pond. So what's been going on in North America? First of all, pop the rankings. Let's have a chat about those. Who's at the top? Great. It's MAT. All of that work and effort has absolutely been paying off for this squad. We talked about them over the past few weeks. They're putting in the work. They're doing just fine. The biggest surprise has to be, though, Oxygen Esports. After a tough few stages, they're back in competition in number 2, and all of this is heading into the Super Week. 3 playdays back to back to back. An insane competition in NAL and really all over the world to determine who makes it in the top 6 to playoffs in their respective region. I want to take a look at that kind of 5th to 7th position because, oh, look at that. Cloud9, Dark Zero, Space Station, Wildcard, every single one of those teams is fighting for potentially only 2 spots. And there's 4 squads that are going at it neck and neck for them. Absolutely insane that we get to a point where Space Station and Dark Zero are fighting for spots just to make it into the playoffs after what has been an incredible couple of years of performance for both of them. Wildcard also a bit surprising, might I add, and then Cloud9, a surprise in their own right, making it into the top 6 and very close to cementing one another so in their spot. So I can't wait to see what this Super Week will have to offer. We said there's been usual suspects that are going to take over. Well, in 2 of the subregions, it absolutely did apply in that way. And really, in all of them, be it in, of course, Oceania, where it's 6 out of the 7 teams that made it through. No 8th in there. In APAC North, again, usual suspects. You expect it. They're here. They're playing in the playoffs. Very excited for that. But the playoffs for Asia have already started, and they're actually playing as we speak because we record this on a Wednesday morning. And so far, it is looking quite darn dandy. Soul Hearts Esports playing against Elevate, and Furia were able to advance. I think that Fury Weibo game is going to be pretty sick. See how it all recaps together. Ladies and gentlemen, MBs, EU fans out there, check up on your Virtus Pro fan friends because they need help. Dire. Virtus Pro not looking great. This is a team that's been at the tippity top of competition over the years in their core, and they're struggling. They're fighting for a relegation spot. We'll see how that goes. But if anything, EML is as competitive as it has ever been before. The maximum levels, and that's what we love to see. Everybody getting better and better. Now, last week, we told you that FaZe are going to have two incredible matches. They played Furia and W7M, but in the 6 points that were potentially up for grabs, they can only grab the one, where they went to overtime against Furia, where they lost in a super close matchup, then against W7M, that honestly, that 7-5 should have gone to OT in its own right. But regardless of results, Furia is dominating all the way at the top. JV92 is back, baby, and he's here for some more gold. Whoa! Get a load of this guy! Can't believe we all got caught aura farming in 4K. All set together for one thing, a beautiful view. But the end of it is the Invitational 2026 tickets are live. And of course, SI26 is coming to the Adidas Arena in Paris, France, in Paris, France. For those out there with an American complexion, you have to be there. It's of course February. It's during Valentine's Day, and it's in the city of love, and we're there to spend time with our beloved, all talking about our favorite thing in the world, Rainbow Six Esports, the community, and a lot more that'll be announced there. For me, SAL is pretty much locked in at this point, so there's not really a single game that would say, oh, this is the one that is make or break. I have to be really honest in this. However, when it comes to North America, it has to be MAT versus SSG, the current number one in North America, against a team that absolutely should be hitting that hard and more. You cannot miss MAT SSG. But another fight has to be Cloud9 versus Wildcard. Cloud9 surprising by going into the top 6. The question is, can they hold on to that spot? And Wildcard trying to recover and squeeze past SSG and also Cloud9 to hit the playoffs and be in contention for the Munich Major. In EML, Falcons have two big games, Gen.G and BDS. Now, Gen.G on the up and up, they can overtake and hold on even potentially to the number one position in EML, and BDS have a tough week ahead of them, but still opportunity on the rise for the up-and-comers, and I love an underdog story. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Super Week is upon us. A lot to go through next week, of course, with all the matches that are happening. Just means we get more content to talk about it. If you have more suggestions, please let us know. Thank you very much for joining us on episode 4 of Lock In. We'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful Super Week. See you then.